Just look at this. A car has crashed into a restaurant window, smashing it.
Uh-oh.
Detective Harris has come to investigate the case. There are two suspects, Julie and Douglas. But each of them claims that the other person did it. Can you help the detective figure out who is lying? It's Julie. The tire tracks on the ground belonged to her car. Adam was driving home late at night when he noticed he was about to run out of gas. He stopped at a gas station to fill his tank and buy some snacks. Inside, there was a cashier and another customer dressed in black. When Adam came up to the employee to pay, she told him $5.05. Adam paid, went outside, and called the police to report an emergency. Why did he do it? The cash register showed $18.35, but the cashier said $5.05, which looks like SOS. Detective Harris was walking along the street when he heard some noise. He decided to check out what had happened. It turned out that some man had grabbed an elderly lady's bag and run away. The detective ran in the direction the witnesses showed him. After he turned the corner, he saw 3 doors. He knocked on the first one. The apartment owner, Patrick, opened the door. The man told the detective he'd just returned from a long run. Another man, Jerry, opened the second door. He said he'd been playing basketball behind his house. The third apartment belonged to Raymond, a musician. He had just finished composing a new piece of music. After talking to all these people, Detective Harris understood who the criminal was. Have you figured it out? The thief is Jerry. He claimed he'd been playing basketball, but he was holding a football while talking to the detective. Sarah and her sister Mary were doing some shopping. When they were leaving a grocery store, Sarah pointed at some young man and exclaimed, "Look, my nephew is over there!" Her sister replied, "Oh right, but it's not my nephew." How is it possible? The young man is Mary's son. Gemma returned from Asia and brought a precious porcelain figurine. She organized a party and invited all her friends to tell them about her journey. They had a great time, but after her friends left, the woman realized the figurine had disappeared. She called the police and showed them the photo she had taken at the party. One of the officers immediately realized who had stolen the figurine. Did you understand it too? It was this girl. She hid the figurine under her hat. At 9 a.m., Ethan got a call from his friend, an owner of a large business. The man said that a very important document had disappeared from his office. It had been on his desk the evening before, but now it was nowhere to be found. Ethan immediately came there to question his friend's employees. Soon, he had 3 suspects. Walter said he'd spent the previous evening at the movies. Joan had dinner with her friends, and Zachary visited an art gallery. It didn't take Ethan long to understand who was lying. Do you know it too? It was Walter. His ticket isn't torn. It means he didn't enter the movie theater. Now, look at these hands and try to figure out which person is married. If you look at the first hand attentively, you'll realize it doesn't belong to a grown-up person. On the second hand, there is a mark left by a ring, but there's no ring itself. It must mean that the person is no longer married. On the third hand, there's no ring either, but it's the right hand, and we wear wedding rings on the left hand. So out of these 3, this person is most likely to be married. Okay, the next challenge is for you. Look at these 3 men. They're at the airport. Which of these guys is married? All of these men are holding their passports and tickets in their hands. None of them is wearing a wedding ring. But pay attention to the man sitting on the bench. On his ticket, it's written, "Family discount." So, he must be the one who's married. Now look at this picture attentively. Does anything strike you as strange? It's winter, but butterflies are flying around the snowman. Now, try to figure out what's wrong with this image. It's the snowman again. Instead of a carrot, his nose is made of broccoli. And the last image for you to analyze. Why does the guy on the right need ski poles if he's going to snowboard? Marcus woke up in a dark basement with just one candle burning on the table. He saw 3 doors in one of the walls and 3 keys lying on the table. How many attempts will the guy need to figure out the key for each door? He'll need 6 attempts at the most, 3 of them for the first key, 2 attempts for the second key and 2 remaining doors, and just 1 attempt for the last key. But if Marcus is extremely lucky, he might need just 3 attempts. Alicia's mom asked the girl to do some grocery shopping. She gave her a shopping list and her bank card, but the woman knew her daughter was very absent-minded. That's why she gave Alicia a small note in case she forgot the card's PIN number. When the girl was at the register, she realized she had indeed forgotten the PIN. Alicia pulled the note out of her pocket and immediately remembered the code. Can you figure out what it was if the note had a fly, a cat, a person, and a snake drawn on it? The PIN was 6420. Alicia just had to count the number of legs of each creature. A fancy restaurant in Los Angeles was offering a promotional deal. A married couple could eat at the restaurant for half price on their anniversary. To prevent scams, the couple would need proof of their wedding date. On a Thursday evening, a couple entered the restaurant and claimed it was their anniversary, but they didn't have any proof. The restaurant manager was called to speak with the couple. When the manager asked to hear about their wedding day, the wife said, "Oh, it was a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Birds were chirping and flowers were in full bloom." After nearly 10 minutes of ranting, she told the manager that today was their 28th wedding anniversary.
"How lovely,"
the manager said.
"However, you do not qualify for the discount. Today is not your anniversary. You are a liar."
How did the manager know it wasn't their anniversary? The calendar repeats itself every 28 years. So if they were married on a Sunday 28 years ago, the day they came to the restaurant would also have to be a Sunday. But since it was a Thursday, the manager knew they were lying. John called the police to report that his friend Mark had disappeared. He explained that 2 weeks earlier, he had offered Mark to live in his beach house in Miami. He wanted his friend to enjoy some summer heat, but when John returned from a half-month-long business trip to Chile, he found out that Mark was missing. The police listened to John's story and understood the man was lying. How did they figure it out? If it was summer in Miami, it was winter in Chile. And still, John came back suntanned. It means he hadn't been to Chile. Maya was in the gym doing the workout her personal trainer had prepared for her. It was tougher and longer than her usual ones. Exhausted, Maya returned to the changing room only to find her expensive bag gone.
Oh no!
She immediately called the police. They had 3 suspects. Maya's trainer said that he had been preparing a new program for his clients. Emma, another gym goer, said she had been running on a treadmill for 2 hours. The cleaner said he had been washing the swimming pool. Who took Maya's bag? It was her trainer. He knew Maya was going to have a long workout and wouldn't return to the changing room anytime soon.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side. Hey, let's see how attentive you are. Now, you see these logos every day, but can you tell which one is correct? Let's start with Pringles. Which one do you choose? The correct logo is on the right. The original Pringles guy doesn't have a mouth, he only has a mustache. So how does he eat them? What about a Tesla logo? The correct one is on the left. Coca-Cola. What do you think? Right, that's an extra detail. The left logo is correct. Look at these 2 Sprite logos very closely. What's your choice? The left one, of course. And what about Pepsi? The correct color combination is on the left. You know the TikTok logo, don't you? There we go. The blue outline is at the top, while the red one at the bottom. Are you into online shopping? Duh. Can you spot the suitable eBay logo? The correct color sequence is red, blue, yellow, and green. What about AliExpress? Orange and red? Or maybe red and orange? Ah, this one. You probably recognize the Amazon logo. That's an extra detail. The left logo is correct. Look at these 2 Etsy logos. Which one is fake? The space between letters is too large in the left logo, and the right one is okay. What about everyone's favorite Netflix? These 2 seem identical, but they're not. The correct font is over here. Can you recognize the Crayola logo? Here it is. Let's move on and check your knowledge of clothing brands. Can you spot the correct Tommy Hilfiger logo? It's on the left, white and red. What about Lacoste? The crocodiles are identical, but the correct font is over here. Zara. What's your choice, right or left? The right one is correct. What about Gap? The correct one is on the left. American Eagle Outfitters. Which way does the eagle look? To the left, of course. What about Forever 21? What's your choice? The right logo is correct. Can you recognize Coach? Of course you can. It's this one. You probably recognize the correct H&M logo. Here it is. And what about Puma? Which wildcat silhouette is correct? This one. Which one of these Banana Republic logos truly exists? There it is. Now let's move on to guess. What's your guess? The left one? Yep. The distance between the letters is way too large in the right logo. What can you say about Tom Ford, left or right? Ah, this one. Can you recognize Hermes? It's this one. What about Kappa? The silhouettes of two people shouldn't be identical. That's why the original logo is on the right. Let's take a look at these two Converse logos. What's your choice? The left logo is correct. Converse Star has 5 points. What about Uniqlo? Yep, the left one is correct. This one is very easy, isn't it? Walmart logo has 6 rays, not 5. Can you recognize Crocs logo? This one, of course. No mistake can be made when it comes to Target, right? The correct proportions of circles are here. Next one is New Balance. The right one is true. And now, let's take a look at North Face. Any ideas? The correct logo should have 3 arcs. Let's move on and check the BMW logo. What's your choice? It's the left one. Can you recognize Ford? The left one is true. One more car here. What about Subaru? It was a tough one. The correct logo is on the right. Do you like fast food? The next logo is Subway. So, white and yellow or yellow and white. That's right, white and yellow. You've probably seen the Reddit logo quite a few times. The right one is correct. MasterCard. Any ideas? The right one, of course. What about the NBC logo? Do you remember the correct color sequence? Yellow, orange, and red plus purple, blue, and green. Look at these two Huawei logos. Which one is fake? Only the left one is correct. It should have 8 petals. Let's move on. Left or right? Alibaba has an orange logo. Do you remember the Firefox logo? The right one is correct. What about Dunkin' Donuts? The right one. Dunkin' is orange and Donuts is pink. Our next one is Taco Bell. This shape is wrong. The bell must be placed in an arch. What about Twix? Yeah, the right one. And what do you think about these two? In the original Skittles logo, rainbow colors go from red to purple. Can you recognize everyone's favorite Oreo cookies logo? This one, of course. Facebook, left or right? The right one is correct. What about YouTube? You probably see this logo every day. It's the first logo. Look at these two Cheetos logos. Can you spot the fake one? It's over here. The letters should have orange outlines instead of red. Now, let's make the task a little harder. Which one of these Burger King logos is original? Logo 3. What about Pizza Hut? There it is. Any ideas about KFC? Logo 4 is correct. Let's move on to Starbucks. There's only one original logo among these 4 options. Which one? The first one. What about Lipton? Logo 2 is correct. It has the right shade of yellow. And which one of these M&M's logos truly exists? Logo 2. Can you find the original Bounty logo? The third option is correct. You've probably been to IKEA at least once in your lifetime, but do you remember its logo? The fourth one. Can you recognize Colgate? Alright, it's the first logo. What about Oral-B? The second one is correct. Can you spot the original Blendamed? There it is. Enough with toothpaste. Now, let's move on to Garnier. What's your choice? The third option is correct. Can you find the original Sephora logo? Logo 3 is correct. What about Maybelline? Any ideas? Here it is. Can you recognize the original NYX logo? The second one is correct. Can you find the original Visa logo? Don't peep into your wallet. Here it is. I bet you'll recognize Google even with your eyes closed. The second option. Can you find the original Apple? Here it is. What about Microsoft? Do you remember the correct color sequence? Here it is, red, green, blue, and yellow. Nestle. There are 3 birds in the original logo. The third option is correct. Your subconscious mind probably remembers Nescafe logo in detail. Yeah, this one over here. Are you a sweet tooth? Also? Can you recognize Nesquik? Here it is. What about Milky Way? Ah, the third option is correct. Let's try Kit Kat. Any ideas? This one is correct. What about Kraft Singles? Yep, the first option is correct. Can you find the original Tropicana? The second option is correct. How about Hershey's Kisses? Option 4 is correct. Baskin Robbins. Only the second option has the correct spelling. What about Halls? The first option is correct. Let's move on and check the Krispy Kreme Donuts logo. Any ideas? The fourth logo is correct. Lay's. What's your choice? Only the third option is correct. What about Belvita? This logo is correct. And what can you say about the Mars logo? Only the first one is correct. What about Walt Disney? Can you find the right castle? The fourth logo is original. Everybody knows the orbit logo, right? Can you spot the original graphics? Here it is. Do you like gum? Then it won't be hard for you to find the correct Doublemint logo. The third option is correct. Any ideas about Mentos? The second logo is original. And what about Wendy's? Which portrait decorates the logo? The third lady is original. And finally, Instagram. This one is tricky because all the four logos look almost identical. This one is correct. Now let's check if you can recognize a brand even if we remove its name from the logo. Does this piece of contemporary art remind you of anything? Can you feel any magic scent? That's right, it's Jacob's. What about this one? "7 Days." Can you recognize this brand? It's DHL. Next one. Does this image remind you of something? Do you like juice? That's right, it's Del Monte. Can you recognize this one? It's Juicy Juice. This one is tough, but I believe in you. It's Boar's Head. What about this logo? Let me give you a hint. Chocolate, caramel, and pecans. That's right, it's turtles. Take a look at this yellow stuff. Any associations? Starburst. Can you recognize this logo? That's right, it's Tuck. Take a look at this image. Any ideas? It's NASA. Good job!
Alfred wants to be a supermodel, so he visits a fancy audition in New York, hoping for the best. There's a line of his rivals standing in the lobby. One of them is not from this planet. Can you guess who? This guy with the snake eyes. Daisy the photographer invites Alfred to her studio to take some shots. After a couple of days, she receives printed pictures and freaks out. Why? Take a look at Alfred's body in this picture. Both of his feet are right. Amazingly, Alfred gets his dream job. A famous magazine invited him to shoot their cover. He arrives at the studio early to get ready. Before the start of the photo shoot, Alfred looks in the mirror. Gross! There's an allergic rash all over his face. Alfred interrogates 3 suspects. The assistant says,
I was told you're allergic to peanuts and berries, so we've prepared only safe snacks.
The makeup artist says, I didn't touch your food. I put on your makeup and left for a coffee break. And the cleaning lady says, I know how sensitive models are. That's why I only use organic, hypoallergenic cleaning products. Can you guess who's guilty of Alfred's allergy? The makeup artist. Even though she didn't have access to his food, she was the only one who had access to his face, and she could put toxins in his makeup. Alfred gets hired as a model for a clothing catalog. He's asked to put on these trendy jeans. Can you count the exact number of holes in this piece of clothing? These 2 holes go through the pant legs, so in fact, these are 4 holes, not 2. As for this hole, it's only on the front of the leg, plus 1 hole. But that's not all. These jeans also have 3 more holes, 2 on the bottom of the pant legs and 1 on the belt. So, the correct answer is 8. Alfred stayed late in the studio to write a post, and now he's finally going home. He walks along the dark hall of the office building. Suddenly, Alfred hears someone screaming for help. The voice comes from the broom locker. He opens the door. Daisy, who closed you here? Daisy replies,
I have no idea. I went to the 8th floor to eat in a Chinese restaurant, but it was closed for maintenance all day. So I decided to go home. Then, someone put a garbage bag on my head and locked me in here.
In the morning, Alfred interrogates 5 suspects. The cleaner says, I was washing the windows on the 8th floor. The makeup artist says, I was cleaning my brushes in the bathroom. The assistant says, I was helping the makeup artist, but I went home earlier. The stylist says,
I had dinner in the local Chinese restaurant and then went to a concert.
And the cameraman says, I was sick yesterday, so I went home early. Who locked up Daisy? The stylist. The Chinese restaurant was closed yesterday. The 6 friends get trapped inside the cave. Unfortunately, they had left all the food in the camp. That's why they're starving while waiting for the rescue group to arrive. Suddenly, Alfred finds 5 cookies in his pocket. Can you find the easiest way to divide these 5 cookies among 6 people equally? They should split the first 3 cookies in half and divide the remaining 2 cookies into 3 parts. This way, each person will get 1/2 and 1/3 of a cookie. Alfred returns from his vacation and checks his email. He sees 3 new job offers. Francis invites Alfred to participate in New York Fashion Week. Julia offers good money for a shampoo commercial. And Crystal offers him to be the face of a famous clothing brand. One of these employers is a scammer. Can you guess who? Crystal. The spelling of the brand Gucci is wrong. Alfred arrives at the shampoo commercial filming spot. He enters the dressing room and sees his actress partner, Amber. She has a short, messy haircut. Amber yells, I took a 30-minute nap and someone has cut my beautiful long hair. Alfred asks 3 suspects one question. What were you doing the last 30 minutes? The makeup artist says, I was streaming a backstage video for my followers. The guard replies, my coffee break started 30 minutes ago, so I went to the vending machine and bought hot chocolate. But then I received an assignment to catch a stranger with scissors. I kicked him out and returned to my workplace. And the stylist says, oh, I spent the last 20 minutes in the toilet. I shouldn't have eaten seafood for breakfast. Can you help Alfred spot the liar? It's the guard. He bought the hot chocolate 30 minutes ago, but why is it still hot? Alfred arrives at the Fashion Week. He's staying in a hotel with a roommate, Billy. Alfred takes a brief look at Billy's suitcase and spots 3 weird details right away. Can you see them too? Why does he need the shaving cream if he uses an electric razor? The book title is printed upside down, and there's no pair to this sock. Alfred goes to a fancy party full of celebrities. 4 guys want to impress him. They learn that Alfred was born in Australia, so they come up to him, tell their stories, and show some pictures. Jake says, "I'm so excited to go on a road trip around Australia this summer." Peter says, "I'm a travel blogger. Last summer in Arizona, I got some great kangaroo shots." Will says, "I'm a super broke guy. I've only been to New Jersey so far." And Oliver says, "I donate money for charity projects in Australia. Once, I saved a little koala." Who's lying? Peter. Kangaroos only live in Australia. Alfred leaves the party. But suddenly, he finds out that he had left his phone in the club. He returns and questions 3 people standing nearby. The waiter says,
I was busy with my orders. I didn't see anything.
The cleaner says, "I think I saw your phone on the sofa. But when I looked there again, it was already gone." And the manager says, "There are no phones in our lost and found office." Who took Alfred's phone? The waiter. She has Alfred's phone case hidden in her boot. The next morning, Alfred enters the gym. He takes a look around and freaks out. Why? This lady is not from this planet. She has a completely transparent belly. Alfred is now wealthy enough to afford a new apartment. He locks all his documents and money in a safe that he found inside his bedroom, but now he can't open it. Alfred finds a list of codes nearby, but he doesn't know which one is correct. Can you help him figure out the code? These buttons are used a lot, but only the 3rd combination includes all these numbers. Alfred goes to his granny and spends holidays in the country. There, he meets his school friend, Dan. They haven't been talking for years. Dan begins to boast. "I've become a famous blogger. My videos on YouTube get millions of views." Dan shows Alfred a video from his channel, but Alfred looks at the video and immediately realizes that Dan is lying. How? The gap between likes and views is too huge. It's impossible. Dan just took a screenshot and changed the numbers in Photoshop.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.